Well, you didn't hear that because my mic was on mute. Well, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening over there on TikTok. Good evening over there on Facebook. Good evening over there on YouTube. Good evening also on Instagram. Going on all the different platforms. This is Saturday night. This is my night, Talk and Sip. And of course, one of the important thing about Talk and Sip, I always ask you, what are you drinking tonight? What are you drinking tonight? And I'm having different things tonight, different concoction. I'm having what do you call it? This is mango, guava, orange juice, lime, and so on. And that's really good. And of course, always have a bottle of water as well. And please tell me, what are you drinking? What are you drinking tonight? Now, I also always go for a bottle of wine or so. I just have a Merlot, just a basic thing or so like that. Nothing heavy, nothing big. And water as much as possible. You got Buck Fizz. What's Buck Fizz? You got Buck Fizz? That's right. Well, great that you're having Buck Fizz as well. And those on Facebook, what are you having? Instagram, what are you having? Let me know what you're having as well. You're having black tea. Okay, Basima, black tea. Orange and Prosecco. Okay, that's nice. Orange and Prosecco. That's supposed to be something nice. Yesterday was my 31st wedding anniversary, and I had a bottle. I bought a bottle of Prosecco. It's always nice to have a bottle of Prosecco in the house, right? And I went out. Somebody's having Hennessy. Okay, you're having Hennessy. Okay, don't go hick. I'm having hick Hennessy or so like that. That's very interesting that you're having Hennessy as well. That's awesome. Well, I don't know where you are. Thank you very much, Basima. I don't know where you are in the world now, but in the UK, they say there's a storm which is on its way, and the storm is called Anthony. I don't know if it's Mark Anthony or so, but there's a storm which is on its way, and so say please stay safe wherever you are. Is it North Wales? North Wales? Is it North Wales? Or you're in North Wales, if anything. Unification. Let me just get this guy to unification of Black people has begun. Representative of UP. Yeah. Please come on the show, and you all can talk. You have the link starting now. The topic that I have tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you're tucked up indoors. It's raining and windy howl. Yeah. The topic I have tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it's about truth and lies. Hang on a second. Did I not send it? Oh, I need to send the link. I need to send the link to someone. Bear me a second. I need to send the link for someone coming on the show. They can't come in on the show unless I send them the link. Let me see. Copy. Send the link. Send the link. Send the link. Send the link. There's the link. Yeah. Become the number 4. Send her. Became the number 4 member on the team. Yeah. It's the topic is a very straightforward topic. It's very simple, and it is something that we look at all times, and especially in the age of the there was a lot of things that we used to call fact checking. Everybody was fact checking for a period of time, and our title is Dare to Know. Dare to Know. Let me just turn this down at the same time. Dare to Know. And let me put up the flyer right there. You can see the flyer right there at a glance. Dare to Know. Distinguishing reality from rhetoric in politics. Yeah? Distinguishing reality from rhetoric in politics. And this is something which has been resonating. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I make no qualms about it, but most of my Saturday night shows tend to be revolve around Jamaica. Yeah, it tends to revolve around Jamaica. As a Jamaican myself, tend to revolve around Jamaica, and I love for you, but at the same time, it travels across because as you can see, I got my Jamaican badge there. Normally, it's a UK badge, as I'm in the UK, and UK badge normally will be here. But I find that most of the Saturday nights tend to flow towards Jamaica. And I believe in Jamaica at this time, there's such a very interesting period, an interesting period where, as Jamaicans, Jamaica is moving towards what we call the Jamaica to become a republic. And that is very important. Jamaica to become a republic. It is an opportunity whereby Jamaicans are able to determine the future of their destiny. Years ago in 1962, when the Constitution was set out, that was really between the Brits, who just, they had the control over everything, and they just give it a call, and they just said, give them the, what should I say? What should I say? Give it a constitution, and that constitution, more than likely, was created in the backside of some office in Westminster. All right, some office in Westminster, but now is an opportunity whereby people can actually determine how their future to be. I might sound a bit distracted. I'm just trying to speak to someone here at the same time. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to speak to someone at the same time. Someone who's supposed to come in at a particular time. Yeah. And I think this is an opportune time for that. And so therefore there are discussions everywhere which are happening. Discussions in Jamaica, having what we call it town hall meetings. And in the UK, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why I'm just saying this before we start. In the UK, there's a start of three events which is starting now, which it is deemed to be called what should I say, town hall. It's deemed to be called town hall meetings, but it sort of resonate a bit from the town hall bit which they're having in Jamaica, where they're going around the country, the different persons on the Reform Commission, to discuss the whole bit about what sort of republic you like to see, what sort of president you like to see, what is going to be what sort of president, ceremonial president or an executive president. As someone just says right here, Jamaica wants to free from England completely, but freeing from England completely, we've got to free from also some of the shackles or some of the examples or some of the stages or some of the bases which is set in Jamaica. Would you agree? Instead of just saying free, because like in Barbados, for argument's sake, in Barbados you have Barbados are now, they say they cut from the queen, well, from the king, and they now swear allegiance to themselves. But at the same time, their constitution or their governor general or their president is the same as how it was before. So really and truly, I think the only difference with Barbados at the same time is that they got a strong president or a strong leader. Someone said, can we be free in a ceremonial? That is someone on TikTok. I don't think you can be free in a ceremonial, because you actually still have the shackles, or you have the remnants. So you got the relics. It is just like it is, yeah, sense, but still have. It is just like when you have the I like to say the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is deemed somewhat as a club. A club is always good because the club has its benefits at the same time, but it is a club that somehow give the king the sense of empireship. So therefore, you can still do the MB, you can still do the OB, you can still do the knighthood, and all those sort of things, because you got this Commonwealth. But the Commonwealth really doesn't really do much. At the same time, it's just like an old boys club. It's an old boys network, you know, and therefore that is like a relic of the past. I believe that it is very important that nations who are swearing allegiance to the king, they need to move away, but they need to also have their structures set, and they need to have the constitutional reform which is best for them. So in the UK, yeah, but Jamaica don't have benefits. They have to get visa to come here. Jamaica don't have benefits. They don't have, I mean, what is wrong with getting visa? I don't see anything wrong with getting a visa to go to a country. If people have to go to Jamaica get a visa, okay. When I came to the UK in 2001, sorry, 1992, and that was August the 2nd, 31 years ago, I came to the UK. Okay, I never had a visa to come. I just had a letter. But what is wrong if I had a visa? If people are going to America, you get a visa. You know, having a visa doesn't, just get a visa and just go to the country that you want to go to. I don't see anything wrong with that. We don't have to be stooges or beggars, you know. But they make it so, well, it's difficult and expensive either way, because even if you didn't have a visa, you still have to pay your search tax and you still have to pay all these different things. But anyway, on the one of the things that what we're doing for the UK here, in regards to constitutional reform and having discussions about it. And let me just take this off here for a second. Take off the banner so you can see this. And for those also on TikTok and those on Instagram, you're not able to see this, but it's on my page. You can go on my page and you can see this. In West Midlands in Birmingham, there's Jamaica becoming a republic. There's going to be a forum August the 12th, 2023. That's next week Saturday. It's going to be and I think I got the pictures here. Let me just do the pictures while I'm at it. It's going to have Miss Diane Mackenzie. She's going to be the host of it. It's going to have Mr. Jadu. He's from Birmingham. He's also going to be a part of it. You're going to have Miss Surrey Dijin. She's from Birmingham as well. You're going to have Matunda Makula. He's going to come on shortly. We're going to have a quick talk about it. Makula, former public defender in Jamaica, is going to be there. You're going to have Donna Scott. She's from Jamaica. She is a senator. Let me see. Let me take it back. She's a senator in the People's National Party. Donna Scott Motley. She's a senator, and she's from the PNP. And there's going to also be an independent voice, Miss Rosalie Hamilton, Professor Rosalie Hamilton. She's going to be there as well. And these are going to be streamed from Jamaica. I think, okay, many people will say that Jamaica do not have a vote, which is correct. We don't have a vote. Sorry, Jamaicans in the diaspora do not have a vote. Right, for years, people have been asking for a vote, even in elections in Jamaica. But you don't have a vote, because when the reform of the constitution and for Jamaica to become a republic, there's got to be a referendum, and people on the voters list will have to vote, just like in the next election. I think they said the local government election is going to be 2024. So you're going to have to be on a voters list. But I believe that even though that Jamaicans in the diaspora do not have a vote, I believe that they have an influence. What do you think? Do you think Jamaicans overseas have an influence? What do you think? Do you think the influence is just by sending remittance? Or do you believe that they have an influence in speaking to their families and to their friends? I think they got an influence, definitely. You want me back on it? Yeah, I'm telling somebody, yeah, come on the show. Yeah, come on now. you know Now, if you want to speak on the show, there's two different ways you can do it. Okay, agree for constitutional reform. The diaspora have a lot. Exactly. What do you think is a lot the diaspora can offer? Let me ask a question. What is a lot do you think the diaspora can offer? Graham, what do you think? And listen, I can actually organize for, if you join, you can actually speak on TikTok. Yes. But it's better if you could join on the show on the YouTube channel, where you can speak. You don't have to even show your face. You can put your voice there. But I'd like to hear what is a lot that the diaspora can offer. Those on Instagram, those on TikTok, those on Facebook. Um, you don't have a vote. We don't have a vote. But what can we offer? Good night, all, boss. That thank you so much as well. And the next question is this. Sometimes people will say, I had a discussion with someone the other day, and I'm going to actually find it at some point. And and the person said that we're just in the diaspora. We're not at home. We're not in Jamaica. We're just in the diaspora. We're just in the diaspora. And when you hear the word just in the diaspora, it gives this sort of impression that you're just there. You know, there's nothing you can do. You're just there. But my view is this, and it's a very strong view. My view is simply that I'm not just a member of the diaspora. And this is what I'm pushing back to people to say. I'm not just a member of the diaspora. I'm an authentic Jamaican, straight out of Ocherius, and I'm a Jamaican. Okay, I got a British passport, but I also have a Jamaican passport. And therefore, not to be, and I encourage every Jamaican overseas, not to just see yourself as a member of the diaspora, like you're relegated to the backside of a desert, but that you are a vibrant, integral, played a key part doing your whatever remittance. I believe that I'm involved in the political process. You can be involved in the political process by not just you don't have to be a member of parliament or a councillor or an official of a party. Being in the political processes have a mindset to think about that as well. You know, the diaspora of experience gained overseas, they see things in the third person. The diaspora, they see things in the third person. That's interesting. You're a classic example. You have gained political experience here in the UK. Well, I would say that I would say that I whatever I've learned, I keep giving it back to Jamaica, and that is why I say all the while that since I came to this country in 1992, 31 years ago, August the 2nd, I did not bury my head in the sand and just caught up in what's happening in the UK. I believe that it was very important for me to get involved in the UK and also involved in Jamaica. And that's one of the reasons why on Facebook, if you type in Facilitators for Better Jamaica, that was formed in 2003. Facilitators for Better Jamaica. I think Facebook came out about 2008, 2009. Was writing a lot of letters. And since I've been here in the UK, I was writing a lot of letters to the newspapers um, on issues back home in Jamaica, right? While at the same time being involved in politics here in the UK. I am a member of the Conservative Party. I mean, to the wrath of many Jamaicans or many black people believe that black people should not be involved in the Conservative Party. Believe that everyone should be involved in the Labour Party in the UK, which I just cannot fathom, cannot understand that how we can be so one track, one minded. And, because the Asians, for argument's sake, they are involved in everything. You got Sadiq Khan, you got Rishi Sunak in different party, Pretty Patel in another party, and everyone mix up around, and then I believe they all get called in by the imam and say, okay, what is it now? The Jews, they're involved in all different parties, you know, and blah blah blah. But as black people, we've got to be very strategic how we operate, and that's one of the things that I found out while being in the UK, not to be one track. At the same time, and not to follow the crowd, but to be an effective voice, an effective example. Because at the end of the day, and I don't know about you, but if you are going to go back to Jamaica or go back to the land of your birth, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in parts of the Caribbean or wherever, if anything happens and you've got to leave this country, do you know what's going to happen? You're going to have to go back to can't do that, can't, sorry, just say to the person that I can't take a call. I am live. Can't take a call. Can't take a call. Can't take a call. I'm live. Sorry. Can't take a call. Can't take a call. Sorry. Wait 1 second. I am live. Yes. Yeah. So I think that it is very important that we play a part. Let me see something. Uh, Mark Cameron. Hey, Mark, how you doing? So I was just
Boy,
saying.
man, I'm just come back from a little get together, man, with the like-minded people who are on the same trajectory,
Well,
politically.
I was trying to get. I saw the picture which you sent. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got Mark Cameron who came on now. Talking sip is like this. Anything will happen, and you and person will come in. Mark, I was trying to get the crowd of people that you're there to say something, but I think I missed it.
Yes, we had different people speaking about the different things we want in government. But
In
what we
Jamaican government.
right, but what we agreed on was the government, the structure of government, which I think is very important. To allow all these other elements to take place. Like, for instance, there was some discussion about schooling. A
Yes.
lot, Lloyd Diagla mentioned that he wants to see all high school students having meals and basic school because kids
Mm.
can't really. It's hard for them to focus on learning if they're hungry.
Yes.
So there's some things there's another discussion about fixed election dates, um, uh, uh, a direct vote for the president,
Yes.
direct vote for the Senate. And these are
Yes.
things that we all agree on. Um,
Mm.
Another issue that came up was land for the landless, people who
Land.
don't have land. They believe that all crown land should be made available to the people. But there has to
Interesting.
be, there has to be structure
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we have to look on the lands that we have available, which ones are best for housing. How do we position housing, land for housing close to areas where people go to work? So there has to be a comprehensive approach on how we deal with these issues, which are very important to the Jamaican people. As you know, most Jamaicans did not benefit after slavery.
Yes.
The landowners were compensated, and Jamaicans were just left to fend for
Yes.
themselves. So it was a very
And
important
we the
discussion that
diaspora
we
to
had.
help pay. We also help pay off those bills as well.
Right. There was also another discussion about reparations. Nobody wants
Mm.
reparations under this corrupt system. We do not
Mm.
believe that reparations to these people, you'll get anything out of it. Another another argument was about while we wait or while we advocate for reparations, why don't we engage in areas of cooperation, economic cooperation? So
Yes.
we're not waiting on this magic, the silver bullet to change the whole picture. So
Yes.
it was very well attended, very spirited debates, and but we all agreed that we need to come together as a coalition to get rid of this oppressive government that we have right now in Jamaica, and that
But
is our aim.
can I clarify something? When you say oppressive government, you're talking about the system still, because you're saying even if it's the other government, you're still in the same boat. Is that what you're saying, Mark?
That's exactly what I'm saying. But you have to
Mm.
also understand that they're carrying a colonial
Mentality.
inspired agenda.
Mm.
Um, the faces are different, are the same, but the attitudes and the mentality is the same. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, it's even worse because in colonial times they were accountable to the Queen. These
Yes.
people are accountable to themselves. For instance, they try to get um, any discussions in Parliament. It is supposed to be kept secret for 70 years. How can you represent the people and not make the people aware of what you're doing for 70 years? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Can you break that down a bit? Break that down a bit. Are you talking some specific things or anything or key things?
There were what was the key things are yeah, there are key areas of discussion
Yeah.
that they wanted to keep secret for 70 years. Now, I do not believe that if people are representing us, that anything should be a secret.
I agree.
I know there's some lawyers will disagree with that and say, oh, it's against protocols. But whose protocols? We decide what
That's the thing.
protocols we want. We decide what protocols we want. Who are they to tell us what protocols are good for us? I don't want a government advocating on my behalf, doing things without my knowledge. No, that's not right. You have to walk with the people. And Up Jamaica is about walking with the people and educating persons who are not up to speed. That's what's important to us. So we're heading back. It was a good get together. And on the 20th, we're gonna have this different speakers. Hopefully we can live feed it into your area.
Yeah.
It's for it's about 7 hours actually. It's about 7 or 8 hours of conference time.
Mark, I think I have the flyer here. I have the flyer here, which is the way forward for our country, isn't it?
Right. And I want to tell you something. The flyer that you put up there we have more coming on board because of our discussion today. So even though that flyer is relevant, there are other areas of discussion that are going to come up and people are going to talk about it. Now I have with me here, I'm speak. What's that?
I'm losing it. Okay, I lost you there a while ago. It sounded like you went to Mars. You come back now. Yeah, you just landed.
No.
You say
I'm on Highway 2000, my brother. I'm on Highway 2000, not Mars.
You said something like you're with. Somebody say Digicel. Somebody say, is it Digicel?
Oh, Digicel. No, oh yeah, Flowman working right now. Flowman working.
You're working Flow.
But there's some people that are going to be talking about, the Africa-Jamaica connection, and how we're tied into each other, and how we can, our arrangement can be mutually beneficial.
Yes.
So, we have some really smart people on board in Jamaica and around the diaspora. And Silburn, if we can just get together, if we can just, look on the common good, I think Jamaica will exceed expectations of everybody.
Well, a classic example, Mark, is whereby when you leave Jamaicans alone to do certain things, they excel. Look at the reggae girls against the lack of support. Even though some people are trying to say that I lied to Matilla or something like that, but they went and they excelled, and it brings forth this level of pride. The netballers as well, even though they got kicked out, but they move very forward. And I need to ask you this question. As a member of the diaspora, you are, but also a Jamaican. Sometimes I find, and I start to push back on this, and I was speaking about it a while ago, that when some people say, well, you're just in the diaspora, and I'm getting a bit annoyed by it because I push back and say, no, I am a Jamaican, but my postcode is somewhere else. Because when you say the diaspora, it's like you're relegated in the backside of some desert. What would you say to persons in the diaspora who want to see a better Jamaica and want to be involved?
The diaspora, it's like you're comparing a cougar to a fox.
Yes.
It's as if you're of a different species.
Yes.
We're the same people. Yes. Our circumstances are different for what and you have to understand our economic challenges. A lot of Jamaicans have migrated because of the lack of opportunities and equal opportunity. The opportunities are not equal. For instance, there's a young lady who is now the judge over
for Trump. Yeah, over Trump. Right? Yeah, case. Yeah.
I know her very well before she migrated.
Yes.
Where she went to St. Andrews and I went to JC, of course.
Yes.
Her brother below me. If you notice, a lot of Jamaicans go overseas and they excel.
Yes, Mark. They excel
because in their work, their worth is more appreciated. I've had people come from the diaspora into Jamaica, and who had to go back because they're not a member of the political party. You know, there's a young lady, well, I won't mention her name, but she was an educator. She was a doctor. She had her PhD in education in
Yes. I think I just lost Mark there for a second. He's driving. Okay, I lost Mark. What Mark was talking about a while ago was and I'm going to share the details of this lady in the diaspora. She is the one who's going to be presiding over the case with Trump, and her name is Tanya Chokham. There she is, Tanya Choktan, the hardline judge on Trump's election case. A member of the diaspora, of course. She's from Jamaica, but of course she's carrying her own. When Donald Trump appears before District Judge Tanya Chutkan to face a host of charges brought against him for his role in 2020 election, he might recognize a familiar foe because she's one that Barack Obama had appointed. And she was born in Kingston, Jamaica. She moved to the USA to attend Georgia Washington University before moving on to law school at the University of Pennsylvania. Ms. Chutkan said before an open court, later joking that she wanted to keep her calendar open in case I get out of town. Let me just bring in back Mark there. I think Mark is back. Let me see. Yes, Mark, are you back there? I'm talking about. Okay, you're trying to. He's juggling highway 2000 there. Yeah. She said the judge told an attorney in an unrelated case that she had not slept since being assigned to Mr. Trump's case. To which lawyer, yeah, Mark, I have the lady there, Tanya Chotkan. Her picture is up there, the hardline judge. I went to look for her a while ago. Can you see her picture there? I don't know. You're driving, so you can't see her picture. Yeah, Mark? Can you hear me, Mark? Mark? Hello? Can you hear me?
It's a little spotty. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I can hear you.
A little bit.
Yes, I can hear you. I have the lady up.
It's coming on kind of muffled.
Okay, cool.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Maybe you can't hear me, but I can hear you.
Hello.
If you want to come back in, if you come back in. Okay, Mark is gonna come back in to the show. Yeah, so Tanya Chutkan, she's a member of the diaspora, and the thing what I'm saying is for persons within the diaspora to really push back, and not just to say you're relegated to some backside of some desert or so you're diaspora, but actually you play a fundamental role, a key part of the whole process in seeing a better Jamaica, because that's what we all want, and that's why I'm here on a Saturday night. That's why I'm talking a lot about it. When I do my walk and talk motivational moments in the morning, I'm always talking about Jamaica, because I tell you the truth. If you don't talk about the home where you live and try to make a better difference, at some point, you're going to go back, and you want to be in an environment where you somehow have contributed to. Hey, Mark, how you doing? I can hear you. I can see you driving on Highway 2000. But I don't think you can hear me. Hey, Mark?
I can hear you now.
Yeah. No, I've got the lady. Talk about the lady. I've got her picture up there. Her picture is up there. Tanya Chutkan. I got her picture up
Tanya
there.
Chutkan, yeah, man. She used to go to St. Andrews High School.
Yeah.
She used to date a good brethren of mine back in the day, you know.
Yeah. There's her picture. Her picture is
very
up there.
Bright girl, very bright family. Her sister was on the Dr. Oz show. Medical doctor. She's a medical doctor.
Yeah, and I think her brother as well.
And her father is a doctor, and so is her brother.
So is her brother, yeah. But
yeah, man.
I guess the point what you're saying is, that those in the diaspora, have to recognize that we are originally from Jamaica, and that we are not just a diasporian or whatever like that. We have a key and fundamental role to play in building and developing Jamaica.
Well, I think what they need to realize that we're just Jamaicans who are working in another country.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes having another home here, but it doesn't mean that we're less Jamaicans. We want the same outcome, the same outcome. We want a positive, outcome for our country. We want good
Yeah.
governance. We want a country that's safe and clean, and all the attributes of a successfully running country. A country
Yeah.
that's running great. So
Mark, what do you
we're
think
not
about
different
this?
people.
Yeah, we're not definitely not different people. Definitely. Mark, what do you think about what I just my topic? You might not know it, but it says distinguishing reality from rhetoric in politics. Distinguishing reality from rhetoric in politics, because what has been coming through a lot is that you don't know who is telling the truth. Was the prime minister stripped out of his shoes or not? Did they contribute a lot to the reggae girls or not? You don't know what is true
Well,
these days. What is true? What is truth? What tell the truth?
there's a new phenomenon that I've seen in the world today. I mean, across the board.
Mm.
I'm not sure if we just have more access to information, but they've always lied. The Gulf of Tonkin that started the Vietnam War was a lie. The incident at the Gulf of Tonkin was a lie. They said that the American ship was attacked by the Vietnamese. It was a lie.
Mm.
55,000 people died. The WMDs in Iraq was a lie. So there are a lot of things that in the absence of truth, democracy cannot be realized. There has to be truth in
Mm.
democracy. You have to know what you're voting on is the truth. And unless
Yes.
if you don't put things in place, then there's a million and one ways to lie.
Yes.
And so how do you legislate liars? Like how do you what is it going to take?
Yes.
So you're almost left to fend for yourself. You almost have
And yeah. And trying to
to
navigate
do
what
your
is
own
it?
life. And
Yeah. Mark is driving through Highway 2000 in Jamaica, so you're getting the feel of the motorway in Jamaica there. So that is why you're hearing a glitch. Um,
yeah,
yes,
so
Mark.
it puts you have to do your homework before. If a journalist said something to you,
You can't take it as gospel.
no, you can't take it
Yes.
as gospel. You cannot.
Okay, let me read something here. It's if I wrote open quote, the first sentence in this article is a lie. Is this sentence true or is it a lie? And if a liar declares, I am lying, is the liar telling the truth? In philosophy and logic, this is known as the liar's paradox. The liar is a liar. And if the liar is indeed lying, then the liar is telling the truth, which means the liar just lied. Lies are a part of the DNA of modern society, though we often now refer to them with the more dignified terminology of marketing, advertising, propaganda, or spin. From unscrupulous sellers and used cars to prime ministers making unsubstantiated declarations about weapons of mass destruction, as you just said a while ago, it seems that many people now make a living from lies. In the public imagination, politicians are professional liars par excellence, or as the writer George Oswell once put it, political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable. Mark, I put it to you, up Jamaica, you're in the political field. Are you being created to be a liar? I put it to you.
Well, at the end of the day, your name is all you have. Integrity matters. Um, I'm not really a politician.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much a survivalist. I mean, I'm trying to survive in a very difficult environment, navigating the spin that
Yeah.
we have all experienced. We're just here trying to we don't live very long. We don't live very long.
No.
We're just trying to we all want the same things. Most people who are not in the political realm just want safe streets. They want good schools for the children, and they want a better future for the next generation. And I asked people today, and I've asked this before. I said, can you, in all honesty, say that we can pass on this world to the next generation? If you cannot say yes, then you must get involved for change, because I cannot sit back and say, something, I just love my structure, okay with leaving this to my kids and grandkids. No, I cannot. And I don't think most people can say that. So whether you like it or not, some people say, hey, I don't want to get involved in politics. Guess what? Politics is government, and
Yes.
you are governed. Okay, they act on your behalf. 700,000 plus Iraqis died because somebody lied.
Yes.
Blair lied, and so did Bush. So we're paying. No, you have a man who the shoe bomber, right?
Yes.
Nobody thought about putting a bomb in a shoe, but the
Yes.
shoe bomber has changed the lives of millions of people. You now have to take off your shoes where you never had to do it before. What brought this young man to put a bomb in his shoe to possibly take his own life? Did he do it based on a lie?
Yeah.
Or was it done based on a true commitment to righteousness and justice? Was he misled? We don't know. I don't know what this man was told, why he'd want to put in his own life and at risk of others as well. So we're in a very dangerous time, my brother. We're in a very dangerous time. The spin is real. There's also a thing called omission. A lot of people, if you are in government, if you omit certain
information,
facts,
yes,
right, it does not allow your constituents to make an informed decision.
Yes.
So there's lying by omission as well.
Yes.
But I believe the best way forward is to hold people accountable. If by conventional means you're able to find out if they're lying, they should be banned. They should be banned from representing the people that they claim to want to serve. Because you're not the reason for your existence in the political realm is not being satisfied. So you have no business being there.
Yeah.
Integrity and honor is an integral part of the whole thing. You can't just, it's not, it's not just words. It's an attitude. So your attitude has to be in sync with what you're saying. And not just saying things for political expediency. In
the UK of recent days, and I'm going to show this video. There's this lady who was recalled. I don't know if I can find it. Yes, she's there. Here she is. Her name is Margaret Ferrier. COVID breach MP loses seat after a recalled petition. An MP who was suspended for breaking COVID lockdown rules has lost her seat after a vote by constituents. A by-election will now take place after 11,896 people in Rotherham signed a petition to remove this lady from office. She's a member of SNP, Scottish National Party. She had sat as an independent MP after being kicked out of SNP also in 2020. Now, that is something that you are also a stickler for, in the sense that That is why the reform of the constitution is so crucial and important, whereby MPs can be recalled by their constituents. Mark, and that is something which is so
Well, in,
crucial. Yeah, go on. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, Mark. You're saying.
well, in the Up Jamaica Constitution, anybody that signs on the umbrella of the Up Jamaica, there's an automatic recall. So, and there's an oversight within our constitution
Yes.
that deals with people who are not following the proper protocols that we put in place.
Yes.
The protocols that we put in place were based on the Jamaican reality, based on corruption. The structure of our constitution was keeping that in mind, keeping the fact that there is corruption, there is nepotism, there's all the isms that affect our country and our people. Buying votes, vote buying, all that kind of stuff. So our formula was based on looking on the history of our country and how they've used resources to get votes and coercion and all that kind of stuff. So that's how we structured the answers to the problems that we're having.
Yes. So it's structured.
And then looking on all the other needs that we have throughout the country. For instance, there's a lack of cohesion in the farming sector. So Up Jamaica looked on warehousing, cold storage, getting everybody online, all the farmers online with one person or a group of people that are tapped into their level of production and our ability to satisfy any need that is there, because we'll have all the farmers online.
Yeah.
I saw recently where they're talking about getting water from the Black River to deal with to get the southern Manchester and St. Elizabeth water.
Yeah.
Now, that has been talked about for many years. Now, in speaking about these lies and whatever, sometimes the government will talk about things that they think you want to hear, but they're never implemented. So we believe that in an Up Jamaica government, well, we believe in an Up Jamaica government that if, we have to hold people accountable.
Yes.
You cannot talk about things that you don't have an intention of putting forward. Now, obviously, sometimes there are challenges that come up, and you're not able to execute what as planned. But it demands some level of responsibility, some discussion about what did not happen, and how do you plan to make it happen, at its earliest that you can. But they don't have those discussions. It just doesn't happen, and there's no accountability. Once you have accountability, you will get results. For instance, again, in our discussion today, there was a gentleman there who was dealing with constitutional reform, and he mentioned a lot of different things. He brought up the fact that a lot of the laws on the books today, if they're enforced, we'd have a better government. But if lawmakers are lawbreakers, then you're not going to have anybody accountable. All you can say is that we should hold him accountable. Yes, but how do you do that? How do you do that without having them sanctioned or removed?
All right.
So,
Mark, so Mark,
we're just tired. We're tired of crying on each other's shoulders. We're tired of that.
So Mark,
hence our move into political representation.
So Mark, what you're saying now then is this: to talk and to talk and to talk is not going to be effective unless there's some political action. Yes. And what you're saying with Up Jamaica and all the different groups, you're believing that next year, because the Prime Minister mentioned that there's going to be a local government election, you guys will be fielding candidates also in the local government elections. Am I correct? And also for the next parliamentary election. I don't know if you heard me there. Um, Mark is driving, so he's on the motorway.
Yeah, you said that Andrew want to talk about local elections.
Yeah, 2024, 2024. He mentioned it at a press conference yesterday. So will this group also have candidates set out for local government election?
This is weird.
Okay, I think we're losing Mark at some point.
Reception is horrible down here.
Yes, yes. Mark, should I let you be? Yeah, I think I might have to let Mark be. Very, very interesting. Yeah, Mark is actually driving on the motorway in Jamaica now. But some very interesting questions are coming up here on TikTok. I think one person had asked a question about uh do they respect or do they honor or do they want or will they listen to the voices of the people in the diaspora? That's a question which was asked. I believe to answer that is that in 2004, 2006, 2008, in 2004, there was the initiating of the diaspora initiative, and this was led by the late Delano Franklin. And that was whereby Jamaicans in the diaspora, that is UK, USA, Canada, were the key places, are able to interface with the Jamaican government to play a part. In the part of the process, and things are still discussing, is about even having a representative from the diaspora in the House, maybe more than likely in the Senate. But based on how things are happening now, I hope that won't be an appointed figure, but will be an elected figure. There's also the talk which I had put forth in the motion at that time. I think it was 2006 or 2008. I think it was 2006 for Jamaicans to have a vote. And when I say a vote, I'm talking about a vote in the elections. Just like if I have friends or so in the legal fraternity, they're from South Africa or from Australia, I always remember them going to their embassy and they say they're going to vote. So therefore, there should be some sort of mechanism in place very soon for Jamaicans overseas to vote. But in order to do so, you must have a Jamaican passport, or there must be some sort of criteria which is set out. So I believe that the one of the key ways how there can be effective political input is when there is a vote, when one can say vote, because government at the end of the day do not recognize persons unless there is a vote. It's like they'll talk to people and they talk to people and they talk to people, but when it comes on to election, what they're looking for is to get into that seat. So they're going to go to that electoral list. Who is on that electoral list? That is the key thing, and those are the persons they're going to remember. The last election, there was 1.98 million people who was on the list, but only 37% voted, or 37% voted. The government got, I don't have the figures now, but it is there. It's not that very much. It could have been a contribution because of COVID, or just people have this apathy towards political thing because they believe that it doesn't matter which they vote for. If they voted for PNP or JLP, it's the same difference. Dog name is support, something like that. So that's the thing there. So I believe that the voice of the diaspora is very powerful because I believe, like myself, I do influence persons thinking in Jamaica. A lot of people who have platforms do influence people's thinking in Jamaica. And also you in the diaspora overseas can also speak to your family members and speak to them, because I tell you what, sometimes people back home, they don't even know what's happening. I'm not saying that they don't know what's happening like they really, but sometimes they're just busy working and things are just going on with them. But like us overseas now, we can actually at times look in, as someone says, a third party, and actually see some things and can actually engage in a way. So that is something there which I think anyone have a say on that. There's a common theme that there are those who emigrate, maybe they have a different drive. I believe that when someone immigrate, I think there's a drive that they have, and the drive that they have is for success, because they realize they're not around their family members. There's no crutch or anything to hold them back, so they have to push. And like myself, you got to push, you got to go forward. You know what I mean? No matter what. Say, how do the politicians feel about the diaspora involvement? Okay, I got that one there already. Graham, there's no such place as West Indies. Well, I always hear those discussions. Well, is Ron speaking to Graham? There's no such place as West Indies. You know, growing up in Jamaica, we're from the West Indies, from the Caribbean. Um, and I never dissect that one properly, but someone can dissect it for another time about that. I know Scotty always talk about that. We're just, are we Africans really, or so are we are hyenas? Um, the university should be renamed Sir James Irving. Okay, there's been strategic infrastructure investments. That's correct. James, you say it's a shallow concept which doesn't include West African slave trade. JLP gonna stay in power and enough PNP have to find a new occupation. Um, well, the question is, Rowan, if JLP gonna stay in power and enough PNP have to find new occupation, well, I don't think they have an occupation. I think the only person who get voted or who get paid is Mark Golden. And Mark Golden doesn't need to get paid still, but as a leader of opposition, he gets paid. So I think it's the JLP. If they lose, they're going to have to find new occupation. But the people who are running for the PNP, they're not getting paid. So, you know, um, I personally would like a change of government, and I'm just going to say a change of government per se, because power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, and power corrupts absolutely. You know the terminology there, yeah. Um, and I believe that after 2 terms, going on to 3 terms, a government in power gets fat and gets very arrogant, right? And believe that there's some sort of mini god, and we are seeing some of that which is happening, and it's because of the system which is in place. If it was the PNP, it's the same thing I would say. JLP is the same thing I would say, you know, and it just for a change. Because I believe that when you change a government at times, a lot of things which are covered become unearthed and comes to the surface. You know, like the time when I think it was Gordon Brown, I think left government or so, and he left a message for David Cameron or so saying there's no money or so. It brings forth things to the surface. When a Trump leaves the White House, things come to the surface. Where are those papers? Where did he put those papers? You know, when a Barack Obama leave and Trump comes in, where are the different things? It unearths things, and I believe that it is very important for new changes, for changes in government each year. Sorry, every 2 terms at least. The whole thing in regards to term limits, I believe term limits are very important for persons who are the individual, like the individual prime minister. There should be term limit for those persons. Term limits for a party or a party, there shouldn't be. But I believe that in a way that the people should be educated at the same time, that they should recognize, and if they see certain level of arrogance and certain fatness in their leadership at that time, that they should vote them out, right? Okay, person say, are you going to vote them for the next party? Well, you got to vote them for the next party, because and if the next party comes into power and they don't play well, vote them out in the first term or so, you know. You know, somebody say Usain Bolt to become president. I don't think Usain Bolt can be a president. You know, unless you're gonna have a ceremonial president. You know, we got to get away from these personality factors these last days now. You know, Imran Khan was just arrested, a cricketer, but I think Imran Khan, to all his credit, maybe married to the late Gemma, not late Gemma, but married to Gemma Gumma, and you know, Mark Gold and James Goldsmith family. But he had some political pedigree in him. But I don't believe that Usain Bolt should be president unless Jamaica is going to opt for or look for a ceremonial president. And a ceremonial president which I abhor. And I think it would be worse for Jamaica. Put Jamaica on. Maybe he can bring the community together. I don't think Usain Bolt can bring the community together. What is needed to bring Jamaica together is someone who can galvanize the people and give them vision and give them hope, and at the same time have plans of action and leadership. Not just about running. You got to move away from this celebrity factor, but like this celebrity thing, because the person know, you know, we need leadership, real clear and effective leadership in Jamaica and different countries as much as possible. I believe Rishi Sunak is offering leadership to the UK, and not just because I'm conservative, but I believe he's a better leader than Boris Johnson. Those are my authentic views in regards to that. Ireland offered the diaspora a vote in the recent constitutional change. I should be able to vote as a British-born Jamaican without Jamaican. No, I don't think you should be able to vote as a British-born Jamaican without a Jamaican passport. If you don't have a Jamaican passport, you're not a Jamaican. You have to have a Jamaican passport to be a Jamaican. Yes, your parents are Jamaicans or your descendants are Jamaicans, but for me, I was born in Jamaica and I have a passport. And even if I didn't have the passport, I'm a Jamaican. It's just that I don't have a passport. But for those who are born overseas, and I know I might be criticized for this or whatever, born overseas and they don't have a Jamaican passport, you're not really a Jamaican, but you're a Jamaican descent. I think that's the best way we can say Jamaican descent. But the opportunity is there to PICA, the Passport Immigration Services in the UK, which came in August, and people are still waiting for their passports, that they can, you can become a Jamaican and also you get your passport and get your citizenship. Like a good friend of mine, Michael. Michael is waiting now for his passport, and Michael is waiting also for his citizenship. And he goes to Jamaica regularly, and he built houses in Jamaica. He's British born, of Jamaican descent, but now he's Jamaican when he gets that thing there, and he's waiting for his citizenship. And yes, whenever the whole aspect of voting comes in, you got to vote, but you want us also to be linked to a particular consequence. So therefore, like I'm from Ochurius, and I say I want to vote, I'll make sure try to somehow find the last place of residence, which is Ochurius. And I think something like that can be sorted out. That's just my thinking on a bigger picture. There's millions of Jamaica abroad lost in the system. I wouldn't say that Jamaicans abroad are lost in the system. And when you say lost in the system, lost how? Because I'm overseas and I'm not lost in the system. And I know lots of Jamaicans overseas. They're not lost in the system. Depends on lost in what system. That's how I put it. What system are they lost in? Is it the UK system? Are they underground? Are they illegal? Or did they not sort out their papers? Well, that's another case whereby they are not regularized. They are not regularized. But I wouldn't say 3 million of Jamaicans abroad lost in the system, because I know people are in Dubai. I know people are in different countries. And as you know as well, everyone, people are all over. They are not lost. Even the lady that we mentioned a while ago, she's a part of the Jamaicans abroad in the diaspora. She's going to be the one who is presiding over the case with Trump. Is she lost? No. Only my good mate, he's in Jamaica now. He should have come in tonight, but he's there for a funeral. Is he lost? No, he's in Virginia. Top guy at one of those partnership there, Dillard Partnership, you know. But is there a viable party ready to step into government? Well, there are parties. Mark was just on a while ago, and he was talking about Up Jamaica and all of these guys. They are pulling something together, wanting to make a difference. They are moving away from just talk and into action. I'm a facilitator in the sense that I give my platform over for these persons to talk, for these persons to share their views. I think it's very important that people share their views and people give Jamaicans and give any political infrastructure, system, an opportunity to see viable options. Viable options need to be seen at the same time. I believe it would be great, and I'm putting myself on record here. Anyone watching me can hear that. I believe it would be great if there's a third party, an effective third party in the UK, in Jamaica, just like how the Lib Dems were placed in a strategic position with David Cameron at the time. Tweedledee, Tweedledum, yes Nick, yes Nick, everything was yes Nick. Nick became the deputy prime minister. David Cameron was the prime minister, and because the Lib Dem may gain ground with a lot of seats, and I'd love to see independent third party come up and get even 20 seats, 15 seats, 10 seats, and can be a master in the sense of juggling and holding them accountable. I put it to Mark as in as what I was talking about earlier. What I spoke about earlier was talking about the what is a lie? What is a lie? And it says, in a public imagination, politicians are professional liars par excellence, or as the writer George Orwell once put it, political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable. It's like lawyers sometimes. They say they're all liars. They're all at the bottom of the sea. Don't believe that as well. you know, we need solutions now. Yes, no, Sir Silburn can't be a conservative in UK and a PNP yard. Uh, no, Sir Silburn, you can't be a conservative. No, you can't say what I can or what I can't be. I'm not a PNP a yard. I am a conservative here. I don't know why you said I'm a PNP a yard. All I'm saying, and listen to me very carefully, and people need to really think this through. Just because a person want a party out, that doesn't mean to say they are for the other party or they will vote for the other party, right? I know people still will not vote for the present party and not vote for the second party. I know people will not vote for the Labour Party in Jamaica, but they won't vote for the PNP. And I know people who will not vote for the Labour Party and vote for the PNP. Not that they're happy with the PNP, but that they want the thing to go. And I had this discussion many years ago with Portia and persons within the hierarchy at one point, you know. And when I left the PNP in the UK and became a member of the Conservative, and I put in that membership. So just for correction there, Graham, I don't know who you are, maybe you know something, but I'm not a member of the PNP in Jamaica. The only party that I'm a member of, and a political party which I'm a paid up member of, is a Conservative Party. And that's a fact. That's not a lie. JLP have the resources to deliver, and the people must communicate their wishes better and clearer. And that is a perspective from Rwanda, that JLP have the resources to deliver. Some will say otherwise. Conservative in Britain and JLP in Jamaica. That's what some people say. Conservative in Britain and JLP in Jamaica. I beg to differ. Just they're not the same, even though they are maybe politically aligned, but they're different because a lot of it has to do with leadership. Sometimes people do not like leadership or the style of leadership, but maybe their political ideology might be the same from a capitalistic perspective. Yeah. Vision and leadership. Boris Johnson was excellent. Some will say Boris Johnson was excellent. Some will say he wasn't. And that is the beauty about diversity. That's the beauty about things as well, whereby sometimes there's so many noise. It's like with Trump. Trump is great in certain way, but there's so many noise. And even with Boris, sometimes there's so many noise, and sometimes things need to have a little calmness. The thing that Biden brought in, he came in with a calmness, but unfortunately he put people to sleep. Yeah. If you was born in Jamaica, why should be allowed to vote in British elections? If I was born in Jamaica and I have a British passport, then I can vote over here. And if you want to understand the system over here, this is my British passport here. And before I even had my British passport and my blue book, my Jamaican, I could vote. You know why? Because I'm a Commonwealth citizen. Commonwealth. So that a member of the Commonwealth can vote in the UK as well. So that's another thing as well. So therefore, if one understands the dynamics of politics and the dynamics of the constitution and all these things, one capitalize on it. Millions of Jamaica abroad don't vote back home. They don't vote back home. It's obvious because they don't have a vote, because the system don't allow that. Just like that, you know. Yeah. Yo, Mark, what's up, boss?
Well, I'm in the cool hills of Mandeville. Reception's a little better. Higher you go, you get better reception, right? So
yeah. So yeah. So what I was saying, what I was saying, Mark, is that and before I wrap up, is like someone asked a question, how effective does the government have respect or listen to people in the diaspora, Jamaicans overseas? Let's say Jamaicans overseas. That's how you use that. Jamaicans overseas.
I think they do. I think they do. You see, we're still very foreign-minded, you know. We're still very foreign-minded. The government will listen to them, whether they act on what we want. That's something different. Because at the end of the day, they're going to put their own agenda forward. you know. So, but they'll be respectful and they'll listen to you.
Yeah.
But acting on things that will put them out of power, no, they're not gonna do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the things I was talking with persons here on TikTok, the fact that myself when I came to the UK, but it's a bit different though. I was saying to somebody, it's a bit different. When I came to the UK, I wasn't a Jamaican. I was a British citizen. I was a Commonwealth, and I was able to vote in the elections. Yeah, I
Right.
was able to vote. But I think what someone is saying here, a member of Commonwealth in the UK should be able to vote in Jamaica as per your reasoning. But the reasoning, what the person need to understand is that I came and started to live in the UK. For you to vote in Jamaica, right, Mark? You have to be in Jamaica and live in it.
Well,
Is that it?
you have to show residency and you
You
have
have to
to
show
be
some form of
registered. Yeah,
residency.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have to be registered. Now, once you're registered, right? Once you're registered, you can vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously you're a citizen. Yeah, you can vote. So there are a lot of people who don't even have homes in Jamaica vote because
Mm.
they have an address that they can vote from or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, it's a very tricky subject because for them because the government's afraid of diaspora votes because they cannot be bought out by anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't be bought.
Yeah.
So they are very afraid of the diaspora vote. But I believe that if people live in America or wherever, they should be able to go to the nearest embassy or consulate and vote, just like other countries do, Israel and that kind of stuff in the United States.
Mark, I agree totally. In my legal colleagues, over the years that I've worked with from South Africa, I remember Australia, I remember Tanya, I remember this other person here, and I remember when they're having elections, they just pop down to Australia House and pop down to South Africa House,
Right.
and they voted in the UK. They were living in the UK, but I guess, and they voted for and I always say this all the while, if Mark is living in Jamaica and Mark popped to the UK and say he's going to spend 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden the political leader in Jamaica decide and say we're going to call a snap election, why should Mark have to dash and go back to Jamaica to vote and break his holiday and waste money when he could have just actually go to the Jamaica House, the Jamaica High Commission and vote? That makes sense. I've been talking about that for years.
It sounds reasonable, Silver, but it's not about what's reasonable for us. It's what works for them.
Yes.
They have their pool of voters that they're sure to get.
Yes.
They don't want any free radicals out there or anybody that just doing what no. They have their set people that they know are going to vote for them.
Yes.
They don't want to be worried about anybody else. And it's not about democracy. It's about them maintaining the status quo where they are the ones running the country for their own reasons. Not necessarily for the benefit of Jamaica, but representing party interests. That's what it's all about, It's not about Jamaica's interest, it's party interest.
And someone just said a while ago, interesting point that you made, Mark, about Jamaicans abroad. They cannot be easily bought.
No, they cannot. They cannot. And I'm not sure why people don't go to jail for vote buying and vote selling.
Yeah.
You're circumventing the democratic process. Why don't we have undercover police to ensuring that that's not done? Nobody gets locked up for vote buying, and it happens all the time. Every election cycle, people buy votes and they sell votes. Yeah. And the government and the police put a blind eye to it. It's in the Constitution. It deals with vote buying and coercion. I mean, it's there. But like we had the conversation today, you can have anything into the Constitution. If you don't have people upholding the law, then it's a free for all, man. the free
Somebody say,
for all.
are you gonna vote? Are you gonna run for Sessa?
If I'm gonna run,
Yeah, in Sessa. That is Lisa Anna's constituency. Somebody say, are you gonna run over there? That's what somebody asked me on TikTok. Is Mark going to run in South Seat Center and take over from Lisa? I was asked a question.
no. Well, let me say this to you. I have no real interest in political representation. What we did with Up Jamaica is to create an umbrella for all Jamaicans who want to serve. We're looking for people that are not looking for a job.
Yes.
We're looking for people that are there to serve. Government is not, especially parish councils, it's not a full-time job. It's a part-time job. If you're doing things correctly, it's a part-time job. They meet every Wednesday. I'm not sure why they have to meet every Wednesday, because things don't change in a week if you're doing things correctly. A lot of things doesn't make any sense. But to answer your question, I have no real interest in political representation. However, let me put this caveat in. I mean, if push comes to shove and I'm called, or it's absolutely necessary, I mean, this may sound cliche, and but I would definitely have to have a discussion with my family about this, because it is something that can be life changing. It can be life ending as well.
Life
So
threatening
it's
as
not
well, yeah.
it's not something that one should take lightly in this political environment,
Especially in Jamaica.
especially when the government has misused their authority and their platform to corrupt the Jamaican people and to give them a false sense of what governance is. Governance is not about handout, Governance is about ensuring that the basics are dealt with, proper infrastructure, proper policing or police service, foreign policy in sync with country development, looking about our economy on a parish by parish basis. These are things we should be an. That is the job, not to take money from the treasury to hand out to people. Oh, but that's what they've done.
Yeah, Mark.
So if you come
go on.
kind, it makes it very difficult. You, as a man, say a box food out of people's mouth.
Yes. Mark, you mentioned the point there about not wanting a job, and one of the reforms that people have been pushing in regards to the constitution is that these MPs should not be the one who are ministers. Mark is gone again, but I'll keep talking about it. One of the thoughts that they've been talking about in regards to the reform is that the members of parliament should not be ministers of government. Ministers of government should be persons who are qualified for these positions. Just like in America, a classic example is whenever you're going to have a new Secretary of State or whatever like that, they go through a process of vetting them from both sides, the Senate from different sides, and the Congress, and they rip them apart as much as possible. And I believe that is how the cabinet should be shaped and should be formed. And then you pay those persons handsomely. I strongly don't believe that, even like when roads are being fixed in Jamaica, you got MPs running up beside the trucks and all those sort of things. And to say these are done by JLP government or whatever like that, it should be done by the government of Jamaica. Take out the political factor out of it, Mark, I was at a point there where I was mentioning about, you said not for a job, and that members of parliament should not be persons who are ministers of government. Ministers of government should be persons who are qualified. I don't know if you can hear me, Mark.
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, ministers of government are persons who should be um, qualified and should be paid handsomely. You know, and I don't think ministers all that lots of people are saying by getting so much money they're able to help to pay for um help help their constituency, giving money for handout. That should be some sort of benevolent thing which they set up in Jamaica for that.
Well, here's what I would do. If I were an MP today getting that extra money, I would put that money in the constituency fund.
Mm.
In other words, it wouldn't be for personal use. It would go into the constituency fund. We will have town hall meetings with the constituency and find out where and how they want that money to be spent.
Yes,
that is what I would do. Now, if Mark Golden is talking about not feeling very comfortable about the raise he got, and others who are not comfortable with the raise that they got, there's a very simple way to deal with that, and that is to put the money directly into the constituency fund. There's a whole bunch of potholes, and there's a lot of areas in Jamaica today that still don't have running water. A couple of days ago, I was going down the hill and I saw these 3 young men carrying water.
Yeah.
And this is 2023. Jamaica is a land of wood and water, and these people are carrying water.
Well,
yet still they gave themselves a 200 and 300% raise. That's unconscionable. I mean, how couldn't they, in their right minds, give themselves that type of raise, knowing that a lot of their obligations have not been fulfilled? That is, you see, that is the type of mentality that that permeates the political
fraternity system.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that's the kind of problem we're having today. There's no empathy for the Jamaican people.
But Mark just said a while ago there's no empathy for the Jamaican. Yeah. You said
we know about that, right?
Yeah.
Imagine I'm in an established neighborhood, right?
Yes.
And I know my friends laughing at me. And let me say this to you. Couple weeks ago, well, for the last 3 months, there's no water in the pipes.
In the neighborhood.
This is, brethren.
Yeah.
If rain never fall, we wouldn't have no water.
Is it?
Thank God for rain. Okay. Thank God for rain, because there's still no water in the pipes. There's still, I'm actually home now. Yeah, there's still no water in the pipes. But it rained today.
Yes.
Just got back and it's still drizzling a little bit. But there are people who don't have no water, brethren. They might have to go standpipe. As a matter of fact, there's one constituency where their level of expectation is so low, right?
Yes.
That do you know that one of the councillors, I think, brought in a tank.
Yes.
The councillor brought in a tank that you can go to the tank and get your water and carry it back home.
Yes.
And the people were happy with the councillor bringing that tank. Not with pipes to their homes,
but for
them bringing a tank. Go to catch water. In 2023, that's what's happening in Jamaica right now, in many communities. I don't know how they could in good conscience give themselves that level of raise, and the people's needs are not being served.
So, Mark, what you're actually saying there, and this is crucial because I was speaking to Miss Danielle Archer we're talking about the education of the people, whereby to recognize that they need more. They need to understand that are they should get more. They should get more. But as you rightly say a while ago, the fact that there's no water and the fact that there's and the fact that there's a tank is better than nothing. It's like the lady say, give me the donkey instead of fixing the road. And the road is what needs fixing. But we just say, I'll stick with the donkey. I'll stick with the tank. Expectations are limited. The expectation is not soared. They're not explored. They're not there's a hope. The hope is not driven into the people.
We have very low expectations of government. And, this is a very critical juncture for us. Because my age group, we know a better Jamaica.
Yes.
We were the group that we heard about Mandela. We were forward thinkers. We looked on the world global. We looked on all the different countries and what's going on and the disruptions all over the world. We looked on it on things a lot differently.
Yes.
The generation of today are more into what's going on around them. The local party, what's going on. They're not as deep as we were. We had a different type of education.
Yes.
So it's important that we from that generation who know better, we have a responsibility to show the younger generation what is possible. The younger generation today they have accepted a level of dysfunction that we in another era will not accept. Which is why we are out here today. We know what is possible. We know of a time when we were developing different types of oranges. There's a particular breed of cattle that was developed here in Jamaica. So we understand how great we can be. Now we have suffered because of the legacy of colonialism and selfishness, where some people have made a killing, so to speak, off of the backs of Jamaica. They've been given exclusive contracts. They've given exclusive deals. To marginalize our farmers. Before 80, 90 years ago, there were no supermarkets. You go to a hardware store, you go buy a saw or some kind of tool. You didn't have much processed food. Jamaicans, we fed ourselves. We know how to manage our food.
Yes.
Today, people that own these huge stores are making a lot of money at the expense of our health. Because when food is processed, it's processed for shelf life. It's not processed for your health. So you have a lot of younger Jamaicans today that are unhealthy. The life expectancy has gone down.
Yeah.
Or nutritional, there's not much emphasis on proper nutrition. It's really about boom and alcohol to keep us distracted.
Yeah.
And it's difficult. A lot of Jamaicans can't. When you look on their faces, some of the young ladies who are single mothers, and they go in the stores, and I watch them, because it's like that for me. I watch how they're trying to, they want certain items, and they're trying to make a decision at the checkout line. What item can I get? Can I get milk today? Can I get a loaf of bread? These are decisions that they have to make
Life
on very
changing. Yeah,
limited resources.
yeah, life changing
So
decision.
it's very heart wrenching to see your government um, give themselves this kind of raise and their behavior without thinking about the common person among us, the regular Jamaican mother and father.
Yeah.
Some working twice as hard to make a living. You know.
But Mark, tomorrow is the 6th of August. Well, um, and that's Jamaica Independence Day. I have my views on regards to that, and I know a lot of people are going. I know some celebration in the UK about Independence Day. After a while, years ago, I decided that it's I just cannot celebrate it. It just don't make sense to me. I can't go to these services. I can't go to these celebrations anymore, Mark. What's your take on that?
Well, Silburn, you're preaching to the choir.
Yes.
I cannot, in good conscience, celebrate anything surrounding independence because we're still not free.
Mm,
Like I said to you before, the faces are the same, but we're still not free.
yeah.
I look on the Independence Day celebration as just a regular holiday. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a holiday, time off.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, being self-employed for the last 34 years,
Make no difference. Yes.
I take my holiday when I want to take a holiday. But most of my friends who doing the 9 to 5 thing, it's for a chance for us to get together. And but to celebrate independence is a fallacy. There's no independence here.
Mm,
The king is still head of state, and they're trying to put in a different system, a Jamaicanized governor general, which we don't need. All we
yeah.
need is an executive president. We
Simple.
cannot afford another entity like a Jamaican governor general. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then going around and speaking to the Jamaican people, that's not what they want. But the Constitutional Reform Committee, they already have that in mind. What they're trying to do is to give us some
Sense.
semblance of inclusion.
Yes.
But they have their own agenda already pre-recorded. It's already in the bag.
So what you
And
actually
they're trying to give us the impression that they're trying to get input from the people. They already have their minds made up.
Mm. So what you're actually trying to say then is that there's already a terms of reference which is already set out already, but they're just going through the motions.
They're trying to give us a republic in name only.
Mm.
This system is a system of false narratives. We talked about that earlier today.
Yeah.
It's all false narrative. There's no, I mean, what's a republic? What's a true definition of a republic? If you look at a republic and a true definition of such, it does not include a ceremonial president. It's an executive president. Senators are voted in. The president's cabinet or prime minister's cabinet, they cannot be government ministers. And their appointment will have to be validated by the elected senators, as in somewhat they have in the United States. So anything less is not a republic. It's just a republic in name only. Once again, is trickery against the Jamaican people. That's what they've been engaging in, trickery.
Yeah. Well, someone typed in a while ago that the JLP is a better party to run Jamaica. I don't know why would you want back the PNP party in power now. They'll be a disaster.
I don't want them. I don't want the PNP back in here. That's why that's why Up Jamaica is around.
I think the person maybe didn't hear you said earlier that even though you don't want the JLP, you're not looking for the PNP, according to what you said, Mark. You know.
No, I'm not looking for I'm not looking for the JLP or the PNP. What Up Jamaica is about is transforming the government into a government by the people for the people.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm not for GLP, and I'm not for PNP. The GLP has not done a very good job in terms of representing the needs of the people. They engage in false narratives. and they're not honest. They're not honest. And I'm not saying this to be mean, but looking on how things are, they're not honest people,
Mm.
and we need a government that if they tell you the sky is blue or that is what, it's what it is. You have to be able to trust your government. When they
Yes.
tell you something, you must believe them. And if anybody were to come on your program and tell us otherwise, that the GLP is an honest government or the PMP, they're absolutely lying, because there's so many examples of the abundance. I mean, the amount of lies that we've been told.
Mm.
Nobody can come on here with a clear conscience and tell me otherwise. And if they
Yeah.
do, please invite them to come on and let's have that debate.
Yes.
And they will lose. Because I have no axe to grind here. I'm just saying to you that we would not be taking on this very, very difficult task, which is extremely difficult. I mean, the kind of things I've done in my life. I've done so many things in my life.
Yeah.
Hence my name, on Facebook.
Is it? Is it?
This
Yeah.
political,
Yeah. Is it, Mark? I
this
saw
political
two.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Go on.
I
Sorry.
never thought that I'd run to so many roadblocks and
Yeah.
government obstacles to prevent a third movement.
Yeah.
It is extremely difficult.
Yeah. There are two senior leaders came out recently and talking about that the political environment is vulgar and very terrible, and the communication. One was Derek Smith, former Minister of National Security. I know him well. He came in the UK, and also PJ Patterson. Talking about the high level of vulgarness in communications, the way people are communicating, and then the youths are actually looking up to that. And you have seen or you have heard of these of recent days, Mark. What do you think about the climate for that? Why is this happening at this time? This high level of vulgarity.
Well, the climate has been set by the people who preceded this generation. They've allowed it.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have set the tone. The youngsters see the lies. They see the corruption. They are the teachers of tomorrow.
Mm.
The teachers of today set the tone for the children for tomorrow.
Yes.
And I mean, hear the birds up there. So Jamaica, beautiful brethren. Look at these beautiful birds. Yeah. So I mean, it's a reflection of where they've taken us.
Mm.
This is a reflection of their lack of leadership and proper governance.
Mm.
If that, when I heard the young man speaking on the Andre show, and I thought, did I just hear this? What I heard, was that what I really heard? I was questioning what I heard, if what I heard was really true. And I mean, it's really the climate that they've facilitated.
Yes.
If you listen to our music that they've allowed, the vulgarity and the level of violence that the music promotes, that is not something that we did back in the day. I mean, we didn't have that level of vulgarity. We had people singing about love and come with me to the sea of love, and
this is love, what we're feeling.
Yeah, I mean, people do. You cannot discount.
Yeah.
You cannot discount the lyrics in music. You cannot discount what you see on television, the violence we see on television. What do you expect?
Mm.
When a man can go into a mosque in New Zealand, right, and to just pump bullets into human beings like it's nothing.
Mm.
When a man can go into a grocery store and just start shooting up people with no regard,
yes,
it comes from a slow process. This gradualism, which was used earlier. Just a gradual. My former headmaster, Edgar, call it small trespasses.
Mm.
When you have these small trespasses that are ignored and they continue, then it's almost like a step. You have a small trespass, then you take another step.
Yes.
Then it gets incrementally worse, because once you accept the first step that is horrible, and you go to the next step and it's accepted, it's a progression. It goes up. It gets
Yeah.
worse and worse and worse. So there's no surprise to me or any well-thinking person that the level of violence we see today is because we have accepted it.
Mm.
Before, people would frown on somebody throwing a piece of paper or whatever on the ground. Back in the day, people would frown and probably talk to you about it. Like, why are you doing
Yes.
garbage on the floor?
Yes.
Nowadays, it's accepted, like, it's not a big deal. But if those things were enforced, if the litter law is enforced, they will realize that even small infractions won't be ignored. So they're less likely to commit big infractions. If you address the small ones, they're not gonna do anything that anything more serious. But we ignore things. We ignore things, and it festers. It festers and festers, and I mean, my grandfather, you see.
Yeah.
I'm a son of the soil. Okay, my grandfather was a sheriff in the Panama Canal,
Mm.
and I heard stories about him. He came back from Panama, and I'd hear from my mother how decent people were. She talked about the cooperation that they had as farmers. He was a farmer when he came back, and she said that his friends helped him build his house.
Yeah.
And he helped his friends and other people in the community build their home.
Yes.
There was a sense of belonging. There was a brotherhood and sisterhood. I mean, there was a level of cooperation that allowed Jamaicans to have the great equity we have earned around the world.
Yes.
Jamaicans, we are now living off the equity of our mothers and fathers and foreparents, because of how good and decent they were, hardworking people.
Yeah.
A lot of the people today, I mean, they still exist, but it's a fight because of our lack of leadership. People are left to their own. They're unruly, they're selfish, they lack integrity, and this is what they see. What they see is what they duplicate. They're replicating what they see.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I'm going to wrap up, but I just want to go back over to some of the terms of the way forward for our country, and if I just read it out a bit there. Sorry, where is it? I had it up here a while ago. It has a.
I can see it.
Yeah, now you can see, but I want to show. I want to show something else. Yeah. It says removal of the Queen and all attending symbols of colonialism from our constitution. Queen meaning king. All parliamentarians must reside in the community that they seek to represent.
Absolutely.
Equal pay for all, equal work over 40 hours must be paid, time and a half, 90 days probationary period. Affordable housing for all citizens. Housing trust must set up for this of its own financing to accomplish this objective. Affordable health care for all senior citizens and children must be free. Examination of poverty. No Jamaican must be homeless or hungry. Free university education for all inner city students who pass the required numbers of subject. Here, Mark, are you there? Yeah.
I'm here.
Elimination of tribalism through the enactment of community councils. All foreign receipts and currencies must be controlled by government. Self-sufficiency in food. All government land would be utilized for local consumption and export. That's a crucial one on all government land. Agriculture, mining, and manufacturing would be the driver for economy, not tourism. And enter professionals migrating for a better life. Livable compensation will drive our agenda. Revamping of our security apparatus to reflect the changing world and local government conditions. Independent security entities devoid of political affiliations. Independent judiciary and prosecutorial entities must be detached from political entities. Independent foreign policies, we must engage in the world and with our own thoughts and interpretations. World events must be dedicated to by not must not be dictated to by anyone. And more, log on to jamaicapatriot.com. That's what it is. Jamaica Patriot, yeah.
Right. No, those bullet points and what was mentioned there is something that we, for the most part, agree on. The National Patriotic Movement is an organization that we have partnered with for political representation and change, advocating on behalf of the Jamaicans.
Yeah.
There's some things on their platform that are a little different than ours at Up Jamaica.
Yeah.
This was a more comprehensive what do you call it? Proposal based on what their members are asking for. But I think one of the things that we are focusing on is really there are 4 key points.
Yes.
That we're trying to get forward, and that is it's a fixed election date.
Yes.
An open vote for the president.
Yes.
Elected senators.
Yes.
Who must live in their constituency. And getting rid of the governor general and not replaced with anything. We believe that the president should be an executive president with their own cabinet, with the cabinet of his or her preference, which must be validated by the elected senators. That also includes the DPP has to be voted in by the people.
Yes.
When you have a DPP appointed by the government, the DPP is less likely to prosecute members in government. We like to keep that separate. We also have
I just don't understand this big hoo-ha. I know they can't see this. It is appalling. Why? You know, it just beggars belief. I just give up on
there's no accountability, and we also believe that that they must reside in their they should reside in their own constituency.
Yeah.
So if you drop in a pothole, your senator drop in a pothole too.
Yes.
They must walk hand in hand with the people. Yeah. So
well, Mark, we'll talk and
by the way,
yes.
By the way, man, take a look on this picture.
That look familiar. Is it your father? Who is that? Your father?
That is my grandfather.
Your grandfather, yeah.
When he came back from Panama as a sheriff in the Panama Canal, he came back as a farmer and he sustained his family through farming. So farming is an integral part of our economic development. We believe that Jamaica was recognized as a place for farming.
Yes.
But we have a government right now that is planting homes on farmland that could easily facilitate mechanized farming. Flatland. How on earth do you find it? Who even think about putting homes on farmland, disrupting the irrigation pipes and all that to put in housing? That doesn't make any sense.
Yes.
So these are things that we have to take control of today. If not, they're going to do what they want to do. And we're going to get a Jamaica that it's not a place where you, Stillburn, can come and retire, because it will be a dysfunctional Jamaica.
Yes.
And I'm not going to just turn a blind eye to the millions of dollars I've spent in this country moving back, because we have some inept people who don't care about the country, So I'm going to do we're going to do what we can do.
Yeah, we're going to say we. We're going to say we. Yeah.
I know. It is we, but I'm just saying from my perspective,
Yeah.
We are going to do what we can do while we can. And at the end of the day, I'm sure we'll be successful. But if we're, we can say we tried, Silburn, we tried.
Yeah.
What more can we ask for? But nothing beats a try but a failure.
Yes.
And we really, well, again, me, I mean, I don't usually fail at things I do. And I'm going to give my best shot. People have my commitment on that. I'm going to give the best shot I can to ensure that we have a better Jamaica for all Jamaicans, not just for a small percentage, but we're family. We came from the same circumstances. We're ancestors of the enslaved.
Yes.
And if we know better, we have a responsibility to do what's best for all Jamaicans.
Yes. Yes.
That's our real legacy. Our legacy is a better Jamaica to the next generation.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I would have touched on that issue regarding that hotel saga with that girl, but I'll leave that one for another time. I'll do a personal reaction on that one. The girl who was fighting in Rio and so like that. Yeah. What do you think of that? What do you think of that one?
Well, the level of disrespect that has been meted out to a lot of our
people,
service brothers and sisters, and you can't say a word because you lose your job.
Yes.
And a lot of these tourists know that you can't say anything about it or do anything about it, and they push the envelope. They push it. But that girl, she buck up on the wrong lady that day.
She buck up on the wrong person.
she not. Hey, but it's in our Jamaican spirit. You can't. A Jamaica will lose them job. Yeah. And stand. I mean, matter about a real Jamaican.
Yeah.
They will lose their money, they will lose them job, they will lose everything to stand on their principles.
That's what I was saying to somebody the other day, if you disrespect a Jamaican man, them job or whatever, they're no business about that man, you don't do that. But Cardi B, somebody splashed water on Cardi B and her mic went wobble in her.
Boy, the mic, but she her hand straight there, because the mic hit the person through the water,
Yes, yes. But they okay, in a leadership position. Yeah. In a leadership position.
Yes. Where she has a kind of platform. Sometimes agree. There's a level of the expectation is different.
Yes.
Because you're setting an example.
Yes. But guess what? But guess what, Mark? I saw another video, and the other video was that she was actually encouraging her friends, the audience, to spray water upon her.
Really?
Yeah, but I guess that person lost the timing. That was.
I guess she didn't get the script. She didn't get the message.
Yeah, she didn't get the message. That was for
that portion. Time. That portion was over.
That portion was over. Yeah. Mark, listen.
But as leaders, we have a responsibility to set the right example.
Yes. Yes.
And in our position, that's probably not the best thing to do, because what it does, it encourages that type of behavior, that type of retaliation. What you should have done was call the person out, have security to remove that person out of the venue.
Yes.
Violence is not the best. Violence is not the way to go.
But I must say,
because it escalates. It escalates.
But I must say, her hand was very straight, though. I couldn't believe that she really connected.
Oh yeah, man.
With the person.
Yeah, man. Like the mic connected.
Mark, listen. Have a good one. Enjoy Jamaica, yeah. And so like that. I'll see you down there shortly. We meet shortly.
Yeah, and thank you for the service that you're doing to the community.
Yes.
Keeping the diaspora and the Jamaicans informed. I think it's a very important thing, because this mass media has gone AWOL. We're not getting the truth, and we're not getting information without spin from them. Everything is spin, and they're carrying the government narrative, and it's just a sad situation. Yeah, it's not only Jamaica, but most of the world.
Yeah, and also remember that we are in the UK. We are actually having our discussions in regard to the Jamaica becoming a republic.
Good.
Yes. So the next one is going to be in Birmingham. We're going to be in Birmingham next Saturday. I'm going to be down in Birmingham. I'll be helping moderating it, and Rosalie's going to be there online.
Great.
Donna Scott Motley. We're trying to get one of the ministers. We had the younger guy in Nottingham the other day. Matunda, former DPP, going to be there as well. And what we find out very interesting, Mark, in the few discussions that we have had with a few people at the last one, a lot of Jamaicans are really keen on this subject, and it's just giving them that opportunity. And what I found out, and what I've said many times, is that Jamaicans in the diaspora have a very influential position, and to be encouraged to share it with their families back home. You know. Because
I'm gonna share the live if it comes up.
Yeah.
It's we have to preemptively tell them what we want, because they will put their own spin and tell us what they want.
Yes.
But they need to know that that what we want is what by popular demand is not cooked up by a few people in a group.
Yes.
I'm going to share with you my interviews with regular Jamaicans who are well informed about what it means to have a direct vote. So they can't spin that on us, because Jamaicans want their representatives and who they want, and the opportunity to vote. So they can't tell you any different. If they tell you any different, is what they want to keep the status quo. So,
all right, boom. Enjoy weekend.
Yeah, man. Take care of yourself.
We talk, Mark. Bless you.
All right, cool.
Cheers. Bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna dash now. Guys on Instagram, guys on Facebook. Thank you so much for that. For coming on and sharing your views. And thanks for Mark Cameron for coming on as well. As I said, the key topic was which we never really get to delve into it more, but I'll delve into it some other time. And it's about the truth and the rhetoric which is being expressed at many times. What is truth and what is lie? I said, dare to know, distinguishing reality from rhetoric in politics. And I'll just regurgitate what I said earlier. And I said, if I wrote the first sentence in this article is a lie, is the sentence true or is it a lie? And if a liar declares I'm lying, is the liar telling the truth? In philosophy and logic is known as the liar's paradox. The liar is a liar, and if the liar is indeed lying, then the liar is telling the truth, which means the liar just lied. Lies are a part of the DNA of modern society, though we often refer to them with the more dignified terminology of marketing, advertising, propaganda, or spin. From unscrupulous sellers of used cars to prime ministers making unsubstantiated declarations about weapons of mass destruction, it seems that many people now make living a lie from lies. In the public imagination, politicians are professional liars par excellence, or as the writer George Orwell once put it, political language is designed to make lies sound truthful and murder respectable. There we go. I'll have to delve into this some other time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining, and see you around next week. And Saturday night, remember, ladies and gentlemen, Saturday is going to be in Birmingham at the Jamaica diaspora, but discussion on Jamaican in the UK, discussing the whole issue regarding the Jamaica becoming a republic, their own town hall. Okay, have a good evening. God bless you and peace out. And as we say, boom.